Going on, everybody? We're back with another one, another live watch party. I'm actually getting it set up right now as we're talking. So I was actually a tad earlier to this one instead of a few minutes late. So that's good. Starting to get back into the swing of things and starting to understand stuff again. So that's always a positive. You know, not being confuddled at something going on. We got a few people right now. Glad to see you guys. Let me pull it up first. We're doing, just in case people are wondering, if you didn't read the title, doing a 300 watch party, 300 tonight. So that's what we're doing. I would be contemplating doing the idea of BVS, but I had an idea. Let's wait to do Batman versus Superman until a day before the Snydercut or the 16th. But since I had to order the Ultimate Edition because it didn't want to come in on time or the right way, it was weird. I ordered it from a company that I've always ordered from on Amazon. They've been completely fine at this point. And nowhere in the description did it say that it was going to be missing a disc or it was just the theatrical cut. And it had, in the description, Ultimate Edition. Hey, what's going on, movie boy? I'm talking about what happened with my BVS fiasco right now. I posted it on TikTok, but I'm just catching people up on YouTube. So I ordered that Batman vs. Superman. It came in. I did an unboxing video on my TikTok. And it didn't have the Ultimate Edition. It just had the theatrical Blu-ray and the theatrical DVD, and I'm pretty upset. And I'm not going to watch the theatrical version because all I've watched is the Ultimate Edition, and I haven't heard good things about the theatrical version of BVS. I don't want that to ruin the movie for me because BVS is up there for me in terms of Batman movies, and that's a controversial take, but we can get into that more when the Batman vs. Superman watch party rolls around. But I'm going to save that watch party towards closer to the Snydercut. And I've also had the idea of possibly doing a Man of Steel one, but don't hold your breath on it. Definitely don't hold your breath on it. I don't know why it wanted to go ahead and do that, but it wanted to go ahead and pull it up already and start playing. Now I got it to pause at a reasonable frame, but I want to go back a little bit to just an easier spot for people to recognize. How about? Would that be fair? Yeah. How you been doing, man? What's been up with you? I'm at what frame would be a good frame to pause at? I'll do 12. I'll do 12, and then I'll do something real quick. I'll show you what frame I'm at and what time, so you guys can get synced up before I click play and we actually start watching the whole thing. If you have a copy, if you don't have a copy of 300, we may have a problem there for you guys. But if you don't have a copy and you're just cool with us talking about it, then that's welcome too. Just know that if you've never seen it before, that cut is on HBO Max as well as a digital version on Vudu. Oh, BVS is. I didn't know BVS was on HBO Max yet. It wasn't one time I checked, so I guess it's come out with very recently. I guess. I'm pretty sure I know for sure though. At least this isn't on there, but don't quote me on it. Finally, the different cameras are working. So I'm on this frame, and I'll pull up the time real quick if you give me a second. Just bear with me while I go to, because I didn't. My smart wise brain decided I'm not going to bring my damn controller up there, so I can't press the button. Because I'm just so smart like that. All right. So we got it paused at 12 seconds. 12 seconds, and at this frame, in case you want to get synced up. So that's how to get synced up. I'm surprised the camera's wanting to work tonight. It didn't want to work in the other one. I had to contort my arm around just to get it to go to the right portion. So we got that as a positive of this stream. Plus I used the countdown thing. And it'd be a little bit better that way. Just drinking my soda I got from dinner. Had more chicken. I had Zaxby's tonight, so that was nice. But let's get set up and about to click play. So I was at 12 seconds, showed the frame, about to click play here in a second, and we can get started. Now, this movie being a lot shorter, we might be able to, not take as much of a lengthier stream. It may not be as long, so you may not have to worry about that. And you may also not have to worry about an impromptu bathroom break from me, or I'm having to play, some just random elevator type music because I don't know what the heck else to do. So you probably won't have to worry about that either. We may get the surprise announcement again this one. I'm shooting for it, I want it to be on a live stream. I want to be able to bring the people on. I mentioned it to them to see if they could do it. Worst case, I do think we'll be able to get one tonight. Yeah, KFC. KFC's weird with me, man. I used to love it. Now I'm so much more Popeyes. I'm so much more Popeyes. Zaxby's is your favorite. I completely understand why. I get the tongue torch a lot. I don't know if you know what tongue torch is. I get the tongue torch wings, boneless wings. I get the wings and things. So I get tongue torch wings, I get chicken tenders, and I get the fries. And I love to get a bunch of that Zaxby sauce. I just kind of just go ham with that. That's usually my preferred go to. Now, I did go on a date once and watched a movie. We watched, what was it, Birds of Prey, before all the pandemic stuff happened. I had their Caribbean jerk wings, and those were pretty good. I don't know if they kept them around or not, but those were good enough. So had those on a date night. But yeah, Zach can't go wrong with Zaxby's. But in terms of KFC, Popeyes, I'm more of a Popeyes guy. But with KFC is, I used to live in Kentucky up until about around August of 2018. There was a KFC that was really good because it had a buffet, so they had to make their food fresh every once in a while. They had to cycle through it, and it was in Russellville. Oh my, it was amazing because they'd have to, every few hours or so, they'd have to freshen up the food. Now, sorry, I'm talking about food instead of the movie, but we'll get into the movie portion. But this is what these streams are. We watch the movie, we can talk about the movie, streams and stuff like that. Extra toast. So, yep. I like the toast. I'm when it comes to Zaxby's, I really do like their toast. Their slaw. I'm more of a KFC slaw guy. Now that is something I will give KFC props for, regardless where you go. Is their slaw, in my opinion, is usually better, or at least I prefer it. That's just me though. Uh, so, but I prefer wings mixed in with tenders. I'm more of a wings guy, so when it comes to tender baskets or wing baskets, I usually go wings. There's one place in Slim Chickens. Oh, they're the oof. If Slim Chickens will just take off and become like a chain everywhere, Slim Chickens would be my number one chicken spot. Their mango habanero wings are like some of the best wings I ever ate in my life. Period. And they have such good desserts, man. It's insane what how good Slim Chickens is. I don't know if you know what Slim Chickens is, but oh my god, they're fantastic. But anyway, let's we can get started. I showed the frame, and we can click play here in just about one more second after I get set up, and we can get started with it. But we did about another 10 minutes of chatting. It'd be what it'd be. I ain't got no problem with that. So let's get set up. While I'm over here, just squirming like I got problems or something. What is wrong with these damn pillows? I'm trying to prop myself up, but not too crazy. But see, this looks too low, like I'm on life support. I'm just it's like I'm on my deathbed. It's like, help me, I'm being forced. Looks like, why does it have to look like that? Okay, see now this is pretty good. I can tolerate this. Yeah, now this does look good. Okay. All right, we can click play in 3, 2, 1, play. Need to turn the volume up on mine a little bit. I will be periodically checking my phone to see if we can do the surprise tonight. That's what I was doing the other stream too. I was checking, constantly asking, making sure if we could do the surprise, but it didn't work out.
Spartans he was inspected. If he'd been small, puny, sickly, or misshapen, he would have been discarded. In time he could stand, he was baptized in the fire of combat. Taught never to retreat, never to surrender, toward the dead on the battlefield in service to Sparta, the greatest glory he could achieve in his life. They said, it is customary in Sparta.
Now, I don't know if you've heard about the Snyder news going on right now, but apparently, um, a YouTuber that does have sources and has had Zack Snyder on their like YouTube channel more than like twice, so they have their sources around Snyder. Apparently, his Justice League 2 and 3 are now possible. Like it's possible those can get greenlit so that he can complete his Justice League story, and it's also um, potentially that Warner Bros is looking at him to direct Wonder Woman 3. I don't know about the Wonder Woman 3 thing. I can understand the Justice League 2 and 3 though, because if it takes off, if the Snyder Cut takes off and it lives up to the hype, and a bunch of HBO Max subscriptions like zoom up and people praise it enough, I can understand them giving him those two Justice League films, but I highly doubt them removing Patty Jenkins and putting in Snyder. But if they pull both of those things, I'll be through the moon. And then at that point, just give us Man of Steel 2. Because that's the only really Superman version I really watch is Man of Steel. Because I'm more of a Batman guy. I've never really been that big of a Superman fan. I think he's too Boy Scouty. But the Henry Cavill version, the Zack Snyder iteration, is a version that I can really latch onto because he's got some imperfections. He's got some faults that are more evident, but he's still got those obvious Superman qualities. You watch K Wing's videos about Batman news. Okay. That sounds familiar, K Wing videos. But yeah, I'd love to see his trilogy too. And I don't know if you know this or not, but I was flipping through my YouTube channels one day because I was just bored, and I saw that Zack Snyder was on an IGN panel just randomly, and I watched the panel, and it was him answering questions about the Snyder Cut, what we could expect from it, and he answered a question about what the ending's going to be like, and he blatantly come out and said that it's going to be a cliffhanger. So Snyder knows what he's doing, even if they're not talking already about doing 2 and 3. But speaking of that, you do know that Snyder's doing a watch party, right? He's doing a watch party. Uh, Snyder is on the 18th, and there's rumors that he could be announcing something after the movie's over. I don't know about that, but it would kind of make sense, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. That's tough because I know more about Thanos as a character, but Darkseid looks like someone I'd be more afraid to cross, if that makes any sense. So, even though I know more about Thanos as a character, I'm going to say Darkseid. I'm going to say Darkseid. For the most part, I prefer a lot of DC characters over Marvel characters anyway. It's just Marvel does, obviously, they do well with their movie formula.
beast that rose. It's King Leonidas himself.
I can't remember if our bud Z Train put this in his top movies ranking. 300? I think he did. I can't go back and watch it because TikTok, or not TikTok didn't do it, but some trolls got him banned. So I can't go back to that video and see, but I'm pretty sure our bud Z Train ranked this movie in his face. That's why I added him in the comments. You do? Oh, they have greenlit the Nightwing movie, and I don't know what's been going on with it. I think what's been going on is I looked up news about it about around 5 6 months ago, and I don't know if you know who the actor Dylan O'Brien is, but he's supposed to be playing Nightwing in it, and I think he could do it. He can do it. I think he can do a good job. He wouldn't be my first choice, but I do think he could do a good job. So let me pull him up real quick because I can kind of see it now. Like the more I look at him, the more I see it. Like he's supposed to be Nightwing, and I can kind of see it. But I think the problem is they're having an issue in terms of scheduling it and finding crew for it, like producers or directors, screen writers or directors. It's something along those lines. They have a main star. They've got the type like they're doing a Nightwing movie, but it's probably if it hasn't got shelved already, it's probably about to get shelved because it's been like that for so long. The Crow reboot happened. It I didn't even know they were doing a reboot. I haven't even watched the original Crow. I think it's on Netflix, so I can eventually check that out at some point. But I haven't even watched the first one. I can look that up while I'm scrolling through here. We got King Leonidas up here, you know, talking. The Persians leave right now. Just talking at the beginning instead of all the glorious fights that are about to come. Jason Momoa. So is Momoa supposed to play the Crow in the reboot? That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty interesting. Momoa is pretty good. I like Momoa from Game of Thrones and Aquaman. Pretty good. Oh yeah, damn. If it's been a couple years, yikes. If it's been a couple years with no news, it's probably on the back burner, and they just haven't announced that it's fully dead. Probably. I struggle to decide which Zack Snyder movie I feel has the best cinematography. This one, 300, or Watchmen. I struggle sometimes.
So I'm not. Yeah, and what? But you'll find plenty of both down there. No man. Personal grief. No man threatens a messenger. When the climbs of I suggest
This is Sparta.
threaten my people with slavery and death. Chosen my words carefully, Bert. She should have done the same. This is blasphemy. This is madness.
This is Sparta.
This is Sparta!
I'm going to use. No, I know of the movie though, but I've never seen the second one. I've heard mixed things about it. I'll eventually probably check it out someday though. Because I have heard some people say it has positives. Like it's got some decent action sequences, it's got some decent ideas, you know. But no, I haven't seen the second one. I think it's called 300 Rise of an Empire, I believe is what it's called. I think this is only my second time watching the first 300. I watched this the first time. Oh, yeah, that's usually what I hear. That's usually the best of what I hear is that it's meh. It's got some good qualities, but it's got its downfalls. I'm just kind of like, you know, that's one of those movies that I have a feeling that if I'm interested enough, which I kind of am because I like this one so much, that it would be I'll get to it when I get to it type of deal.
We have been expecting you. The equals, priests to the old gods, inbred swine, or creature the man, creatures whom even Leonidas must fry.
Plus, I mean, Leonidas like basically made this movie. Like, let's be real here. Like, let's be realistic here. King Leonidas basically made this movie. You know, a seal of approval, and we obviously know how involved he is in the second one. That's just my opinion, though.
And the terrain of Greece's south to destroy us. We will march north to the coast, where I will make sure. The full moon approaches. The sacred and ancient festival. Sparta wages no war at the time of God. Sparta will burn. Her men will die at arms, and her women and children will be slaves of worth. Persian coast. By rebuilding the great ocean, only a being funneled into the mountain pass with his own gates. Now in that narrow corridor, enemies will count for nothing. Wave after wave of Persian attack smashed his men. Even having a choice.
I like this shot here of him, kind of like giving his kind of like this pitch here. You know, Leonidas, because behind him you see a bit of like what looks like the moon or the sun, but it's cut off by the building. To me, that sends a message of him having waning but a sliver of like hope that maybe he can get them on his side instead of just having to take the men solely over. That's kind of how I interpret that little sliver of light right there. I literally interpret it as internally, deep internally, and it's just behind him.
He must respect word equals. That is the law. A new spot, subject or citizen, man or woman, slave or king, spot the law. The epochs choose only the most beautiful spot in the earth to live among them as oracles. Their beauty is their curse. They hold wretched the needs of men, and souls as black as hell. Pray to the winds. Sparkle will fall. All close. Trust not in men. Honor the gods. Honor the carnage. The king's climb down was hard. Compass bred swine. Worth disease, rotten, corrupt. Truly, you're in the God King's favor now. Why? Yes. And when spark burns, you shall bathe in gold. Fresh oracles shall be delivered
We have another scene here that even if I could show the whole movie, I would cut away from. I mean, I'm obviously not going to complain, though. I mean, you have Lena Hunley, I believe is the right way to pronounce it, in Game of Thrones. That's where I know her from, Game of Thrones. Now, Cersei in Game of Thrones, I could not stand her in Game of Thrones, but you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to like her, so that shows she did a good job. Personal bodyguard. And people say Zack Snyder can't write jokes. Get these 300 men are my personal bodyguard. Yeah, right, King Lion. Nice. Yeah, right. More like you're like more like you're the 300 men bodyguard. Like, come on now.
He doesn't say. There's no room for softness. Not in Sparta. No place for weakness. Only the hard and strong may call themselves Spartans. Only the hard. Only the strong.
I will say one thing though. Another thing about this movie is the film score by Tyler Bates. Here, this may be my favorite Tyler Bates score that he's done. I mean, Watchmen is solid, but I do think this is a big step above if we're talking in terms of just a film score. I think Tyler Bates did a much better job with this one than he did with Watchmen.
For our lives, for our families, for our freedoms, we march.
Thanks, officer. What a pleasant surprise. This one is full of surprises. This is a surprise. Silence. We heard Spot was on the warpath. We're eager to join forces. Blood you seek. Join us. Only this handful of soldiers against Xerxes? See, I was wrong to expect Spot to be this much power.
Yeah, as well as hitting that. It really is, isn't it?
You,
Trying to think of Tyler Bates. He also did the Guardians film scores. I know Tyler Bates did that. I'm trying to think of all the Tyler Bates film scores that I know of.
what is your profession?
Doctor,
Sparta, what is your profession? Oh, bro. Oh. I remember doing that at Nissan Stadium. Those.
What is your profession?
Oh. 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 Every first down. Also, another thing that I find hard to believe, and this goes across any filmmaker, by the way. 99 times out of 100, if you're quoting a line of dialogue, it's not because it's cheesy. Like if many people quote a line of dialogue, it's because that line of dialogue is good. Whether it's good, great, or amazing depends. But if you're quoting it, it's at least a good line of dialogue. Like the lead up right before the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight in Revenge of the Sith, people quote that word for word. I don't know why in the holy hell I'm holding my freaking earbud wire right in front of my face. You know, let's just split the screen in half of my fucking earbud wire because that's what people want to see. That's what you really came for, isn't it? My earbud wire. There we go. The earbud wire watch party. Real smart. I'm just a genius with these ideas. Bro, this dude is a lucky motherfucker. My apologies for my French. Pardon my French. I follow a lot of Reddit communities. I don't really post on Reddit, you know. I just follow certain things and just scroll through. Some dude got lucky and gets to watch the Snyder Cut in a few days. He gets to watch the Snyder Cut 5 days early because he won some type of sweepstakes. He gets to watch the movie 5 days early. Lucky, lucky mofo. I can't blame him. I'd be excited as hell to watch that movie early. Oh, here we go.
from the ancient times. They are the hunters of living souls. They cannot be killed or defeated. The stars, not these mortals.
Mhm.
We'll put that to the test.
There you go.
Into the hot gates we march. Into that narrow corridor we march. Xerxes' numbers
And now we get to get introduced to the hunchback that becomes the effing traitor of the movie.
soldiers, freed slaves, brave Greek soldiers, brothers, fathers, sons. We march. For honor's sake, for duty's sake, for glory's sake, we march.
Look! Spartans!
Into hell's mouth we march. What's these mother of stones? Is there a grief by the loving arms of Greece herself? No. True.
It does look likely.
Zeus stabs the sky with thunderbolts, and batters the Persian ships with hurricane wind. Glorious.
That's another thing I got surprised about is in the Steppenwolf trailer for the Snyder Cut, we saw Zeus, like full on Zeus, in the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Zeus is in the movie confirmed. That's pretty crazy.
Only here.
The name drop of Zeus in here reminded me of that.
I agree.
Yeah, he does. He sounds more intimidating than Thanos to me, in my opinion. I just think he's more intimidating. Sorry, I've been up since really early this morning. So, but yeah, I think he's way more intimidating. He sounds way more intimidating than Thanos, in my opinion. And the CGI was, I thought it even looked decent the first time we saw him through the teasers, but there were still minor complaints upon the first CGI look of Darkseid that, they did more work on it, even more work between like the teasers and stuff. And the CGI got even better. Like the CGI now compared to what it was at first. I even thought the CGI at first was pretty solid, but now the CGI now is like holy shit level amazing for Darkseid. There are people that are like screenshotting this one picture from when he's like forming or something and say, "This is Darkseid." Yeah, it's Darkseid forming, you nitwit. You took the wrong fucking screenshot. Wise one. It's those types of people that post that type of stuff on the internet that they're literally a walking should have had a V8 moment. That's what they are. They're a walking should have had a V8 moment. Like,
Smash on the rocks. How can this be? But a fraction of the monster that Xerxes' army. No victory here. Why do you smile? I've fought countless times. I've never met
Yeah, this scene here, you really do see a difference in ideals. Spartans value death in combat, whereas others look at it as tragedy. They look at it as death. They look at it as you want to fight to live. Spartans fight for honor, of course, but they also, if they die, they view that as honorable as well. Almost like an order. I mean, what can you hate about it, man? I mean, it's got great action sequences, amazing visuals, a good film score. It's hard to hate this movie. And look at that shot right there with all the Persians falling off the cliff. Like that should be an iconic shot right there. Like that should be iconic. But then you have all these people going, Snyder's a visual storyteller. Film is a visual art form. So just imagine if you ever saw that, man. It just looked like a nothing but a black line of arrows just coming right at you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's actually pretty good when you think about it. That was funny. That was funny how the Persian tried to get up and the arrow just went. Ding. But then again, I have a dark sense of humor. At times, I have a dark sense of humor. And this is badass. It's simple, but it's badass. That's like a F you to all those Persians. It's like, I'm just going to swipe off all these arrows. Yeah, you damn right. That don't mean nothing. Your arrows mean nothing to us. Just cut them all off. So I'm guessing, Movie Boy, this is your favorite Snyder movie is 300? That's what I'm guessing. Exactly. My point exactly. Bad visuals can ruin a movie. It is a dumb argument. That's all that they give Snyder is they say he's a visual storyteller. That's all he's got is visuals. I'm like, film is a visual art form. And if you look at the film scores he's had, Watchmen is solid. I'm a little bit more biased to that film score because I like the movie, I like the action sequences and the characters. It's between 300 and Watchmen. I get it. Mine, if we're doing a Snyder ranking, honestly, number one is Watchmen, but a close second is Batman versus Superman. That's why you saw me get so angry that that third party company from Amazon didn't give me my Ultimate Edition because part of me wanted to watch it tonight because I had both movies and I like Batman v Superman a little bit more, at least the Ultimate Edition. And then third place would probably be 300. Then in fourth would probably be his Dawn of the Dead. Then in fifth would probably be Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel. It's really grown on me. But I just, again, Batman as a character, I prefer way over Superman. But Snyder's iteration and Henry Cavill's portrayal is probably the only version of Superman I really see myself watching and enjoying. Plus, another thing Mad Max Fury Road had is it had great editing. It had very up tempo editing. That's what it was covered in when I did my intro to film class and I discovered, hey, I want to give a shot at being a filmmaker. In the editing chapter of our film class, we had an editing week where we went over editing, and we had to watch Mad Max Fury Road. And a side thing is every time we saw a cut, we had to like tap a finger. I did it during portions, but I was like so in like just focused in because of how well the editing was, and the film score was very up tempo and intense from Junkie XL. The visuals were awesome, so I was just kind of too focused to really pay attention to do finger taps. But when I would notice well enough, I would still do it, and it was just a very up tempo movie. So the editing helped along with the visuals for Mad Max Fury Road. And for anybody hopping in right now, we are 54 minutes and 42 seconds in. At some point, I need to figure out a way to put a timer in like a corner up here or something. Put a timer up there. Once I start getting like really into these watch parties, put a timer up here, and it just keep rolling. So people, whenever they hop in, they see that and they can get it synced up. I could probably do that, but I'd have to get the premium version of the service I'm using right now, which means you got to pay for it. I'll wait till I get to a certain level before I start thinking about doing that. It's not too expensive per se. It ain't cheap, but it ain't like over like extremely expensive to do it. Now that would be me right there. Everyone else just maybe like during some fucked up shit, like you're just seeing a bunch of death, just a bunch of blood, guts, and everything everywhere, and then me over here just eating food. I do that all the time. Like I can watch a Rob Zombie movie, okay, and I can eat a whole ass dinner just watching a Rob Zombie movie, or like some really fucked up gory movies. I can watch it, no problem. The only movie I have a problem with, there's this one movie. I don't think anyone's ever heard of it. It's called Captivity. It's not that good at all, and really saying it's not that good is a really big understatement. It's bad. It's really bad. But the movie, in terms of how gory it is so fucked up. There's a scene where this guy, the whole premise is this girl gets like trapped in some type of like bunker type deal, and she has to try to like escape. But there's a scene where a like a, I don't know if you'd call it a pint of blood, but there's blood, and then there's organs, and then there's intestines, and it's thrown into a blender, and then it gets like stirred up in the blender, and then the chick is forced to drink some of it. It's like so like that was the only moment where I was eating something and I went, "Yep, you know what? I'm done with you for a while. I'm gonna try not to just throw up what I've been eating for the past 3, 4 days." That too. That too. It was a very good intro into it as well.
Let us reason.
You know, this the execution of the dialogue combined with just the tone and the just all the elements that added in that gave you a mystique and an emotion vibe and all those types of things really nailed the beginning on the head it really needed to hit. I do like the voice they decided for Xerxes. I like the voice they chose for him. Kind of like beyond human, this very deep voice, you know.
Might as well have marched them up here, judging by what I've seen. You are many slaves, They won't be long before they hear mine steers more than your place. But the idea of me, you see, slaughtering all those men, that's the nasty in my leg. So, hearing will be
There would be no glory in sacrifice. Utterly race men as part of the histories. Every piece of report shall be burned. Every Greek is fought. And every scribe shall have their eyes put out and their tongues cut from their mouths. Why, every name of Sparta or Leonidas will be punished by death. Existed at all.
you all will know that free men stood against the tyrant. You stood against many. Before this battle was over, everything of God came.
Now that was a good line.
For a woman,
I forgive. Maybe if I'm injured, you'll be able to keep up with me.
When this battle is over,
Perhaps.
people know that free men stood against a tyrant and that even a god king can bleed.
Well, I'll help on your backside for testing.
There's something about Snyder dialogue that just hits a little harder.
Move it now.
Another thing that, again, Snyder gets no credit for. And I get it, Snyder doesn't technically write his movies per se, but there seems to be a consistency in all his movies that they do have that heavier hitting dialogue.
They observed the dark will of Persian kings for 500 years. Eyes as dark as night, teeth fire fans, soulless. The personal guard to King Xerxes himself, the Persian warrior elite, the deadliest fighting force in all of Asia, the immortals. easy to treat. War wounds and weariness have taken their toll. The Mad King throws the best he has at us. Xerxes is taking the bait. We put their names to the test.
Just using dead bodies as an avalanche, man. Yeah, you get to see a cameo by my big ass thumb. I didn't think my thumb was gonna be in the fucking screen. See, that's what you call a badass fight right there. Leonidas versus the giant before the. Yep.
They make a wondrous mess of things. Brave amateurs. They do their part.
I don't like talking over the narration.
fair outcasts taste. The man who fancies himself a god feels a very huge chill crawl up his spine.
Walking! And our honor dead!
Oh.
Xerxes dead is their next! On! There's nothing that can stop us now!
Even the king allows himself to hope for more than glory. Such mad hope. There it is. Against Asia's endless hordes, against all odds, we can do it. We can hold our kings. We can win. Dawn. Whips crash. Barbarians howl. Those behind fight forward. Those in front cry our eyes bear witness to the grotesque spectacle called forth from the darkest border of Xerxes' empire. When muscle failed, they turned to magic. 100 nations descend upon us. The armies of all Asia, funneled into this narrow corridor, and numbers count for nothing. They fall by the hundreds. We send the severed bodies and the fragile hearts back to Xerxes' feet. Xerxes is displeased with his generals. He disciplines.
I don't know if I find that realistic. I don't know if that's quite the face you'd be making as you're getting decapitated, but hey, have at it. That's the only issue, though. I mean, it's possible you could be making that face. Fuck, man. Tired because I've been up since how long have I been up for? Let's see, it's about 9:30. I've been up since I think somewhere around 7 o'clock. That's not usually my thing. I usually get up around like brunch time or lunch or something. But I'm getting up early now. There's something about when, like in this movie, when legs get cut off and like thrown at the screen, almost like when they come at the screen. There's just something about it that's just like savage. I really hope that no one in chat hears what just happened. I really hope you didn't hear what just happened. You probably did though, but I have no way of knowing.
My son!
That was the beginning of the end right there.
You lose fear, but each fear is a friend, or dearest blood. And upon seeing the headless body of his own young son, the captain breaks rank. He goes wild, blood drunk. The captain's cries of pain at the loss of his son are more frightening to the enemy than the deepest battle drums. It takes 3 men to restrain him and put him back to our. The day is ours. No songs this song.
Yep. Soon as the captain's son was killed, that's when you know that's the beginning of the end right there. Plus, you had the bullshit they wanted to dispute to the queen about. Hey, 2 days, 2 days.
Everything you could ever desire. Every happiness you can imagine. Every pleasure your fellow Greeks and your false gods have denied you. I will grant you. Right at night. Embrace me as your king and as your god.
Yes!
Lead my soldiers to the hidden path that enters behind the cursed Spartans. The drive will be endless.
Yes! I want you to talk! Well, women! And one more thing. I want to do that for.
None. You will find I am kind. Life will unite us with humanity.
And it's at this part, right before the scene happens where she goes, that makes me start to not like this guy. And then the scene where she goes to the council made me fucking hate this guy.
Your husband, our king, has taken 300 of our finest to slaughter. He's broken our laws and left our councils to himself. And it's foolish to realize that every man will have a price in this world. All men are not created equal. Crush the life out of him right now. You can go before the council, and your words will fall on deaf ears. Leonidas will receive no reinforcements, and if he returns without mine, he will go to jail or worse. I did.
Dang it, I got something in my eye.
Yes. Just that scratch hasn't made you useless.
Just an eye. I have lived my entire life without regret until now. It's not that my son gave up his life for his country. It's just that I never told him that I loved him most. He stood by me in honor. He was all I was left. Hard.
It's hard to talk during that scene, man.
Ready for bed.
It's hard to talk during that scene. Even if you drive people away, it's hard to talk during that. It's just a very tough moment. Nothing quite like that. Losing a family member, you know. And then you start to blame yourself and then you lash out at people. It's just relatable shit, but it's dark shit. Hmm.
A handful stay. Only one will stay.
For tonight, we dine in hell. I think that's the GIF I used when I was promoting this on Twitter. I think I used the "Tonight We Dine in Hell" one. Oh shoot! Wasn't talking enough, man. It's my bad. I got too focused in on the captain after he loses his son, how he acts. Starting to see the Spartan, the mentality crumble a little bit within some of the soldiers.
Eloquent, passionate. It doesn't change the fact that your husband has brought war upon us. This chamber needs no history lesson. You speak of honor, duty, glory. What of adultery? How dare you? How dare I? Watch her. She is a trickster in true form. shocked. A crime of the flesh, gentlemen, while our husband promotes anarchy and war. Let's escape even wants to come in. Queen-like behavior. Remove her from this chamber before she infects us further with her inglorious and shabby self.
Yeah, it only took you, way too fucking late to figure that one out. Good going, Sparta. It only took you, way too long after the fact to, connect the dots on that one. I will admit that scene where, the Queen stabs that asshole in the chamber is fucking awesome. Everyone has to deal with a lying asshole at some point in their lives, and we all probably wish we could just pull that on them. Just go tink. Let us just have our way with them and just go fine. There you go.
He can attest to the divine one's generosity. Despite your several insults, despite your horrid blasphemies, the Lord of hosts is prepared to forgive all, and more, to reward your service. You fight for your lands. Keep them. You fight for Sparta. She will be wealthier and more powerful than ever before. You fight for your kingship. You will be proclaimed warlord of all Greece, answerable only to the one true master of the world. Leonidas, your victories will be complete if you but lay down your arms and kneel to holy Xerxes.
I will admit, this scene almost got me first time I watched it. Almost. I knew something was up, but there was a part of me that also thought, wait, is this actually happening?
It's been more than 30 years since the wolf in the winter cold. And now there's there. It's not fear that grips him, but his restlessness, a heightened sense of things. The seaboard breeze coolly kissing the sweat at his chest and neck. Gulls cawing, complaining even as they feast on thousands of floating dead. The steady breathing, the 300.
And I guess I'll do one final update since we're on the home stretch for anyone that either hops in while I'm saying where we're at, or watching this after the fact. We're at 137.15, 137.17 right now. Man, I'm telling you, I have something in my fucking eye right now. I've got probably like 3 or 4 eyelashes in my fucking eye. Yeah, when I first saw him kneel, I thought he was being serious.
His helmet was stifling, narrowed his vision. He must see far. His shield was heavy, and threw him off balance. His target is far away.
Now, granted, it was still badass watching Xerxes get cut up, but you can't help but see when Leonidas threw that spear, you can't help but deep down somewhere inside of you want to say the words, bruh. Like, come on. You can't help but wanting to say, bruh, in that moment.
The old ones say we Spartans descended from Hercules himself. Old Leonidas gives testament to our bloodline. His roar is long and loud.
And a funny story, first time I watched this, I thought the guy who handed, you know, the queen back the necklace was actually Nikolaj Coster-Waldau from Game of Thrones. I'm like, what? Because he looked a little bit like him. It's not, obviously, but a part of me thought that first time I watched it. And I thought that was so funny. I had to throw that in here. As much as I want to, no. As much as I'd love the idea of doing that, no. I'll do a review though on my channel. I'll do a review if you're interested in checking that out. I'll do a review for it either the day it comes out or the day after. Because Zack Snyder's doing a watch along. Zack Snyder's doing a watch along for it on gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's called Screener, I think. Screener. I'm going to do it through my laptop, I think. You can do the watch along there. I think if I did a Snyder Cut watch along, even with the background noise, if I was able to pull it off, the stream would get taken down like that. Even with the views I get, which isn't massive, which I'm obviously, I mean, any views, I do it for the enjoyment of it all. But with the Snyder Cut having the hype, it's just, it would get taken down. Now, I'm open to doing a watch along for the Snyder Cut after the fact, like after it's been out a while. Then after I do a review, I can do what's called maybe a revisit watch along. I'm completely open to doing that because I'm a Snyder fan, so I'm obviously open to doing a watch along for that. I've enjoyed doing these watch alongs. Now, obviously, this one I didn't have as much commentary because I know more about Watchmen and the characters than 300 and Spartan lore, but I still enjoy watching the movie. I appreciate that. And after I watch the movie, I'll do a review. I'll film it, and it'll be in my typical YouTube style. So it'll have my little table set up. I'll have my actual mic that I use. The audio quality will be back to what a typical YouTube video is for me. It'll be edited, so it won't be this type of live stream, kind of makeshift, speaking into a tablet type deal. But yeah, after the fact, maybe the earliest I see myself doing the watch party is probably close to a year after it drops. So this time next year, maybe if I still think about it. Like it's just the movie's got to be out a while, man. It's got to be out a while for me to do a reaction video. Reaction video, I definitely ain't doing, but a watch along at least a year probably, if not maybe two. Just because the copyright's going to be so intense. But I'm open to doing it eventually.
And ushering a future brighter than anything we can imagine. Advance, man! To Leonidas and the brave 300! To victory!
And that marks the end of 300. Watch party for that is done. I don't know what it is with the people I want to bring on here to do the surprise announcement and their inability to read my messages. Their inability to read them on time. And if they end up watching this after the fact, they may get salty at my claim about this. It's a joke, guys, with the hint of truth in there. All right? So if you're watching this after the fact, just know that it comes both from a point of truth and cutting up. But yes, I wanted both of you to come on here. Just in case if they end up watching this, because there's some people that watch my channel that don't know a single thing that follow these Instagram profiles, and I want them to know about it. So I'll do a portion of this surprise because I'm kind of tired of waiting for to bring people on for it. And then, Movie Boy, if you want to come on and chat for a few seconds, you can. But if not, that's cool. Um, the surprise announcement was supposed to be that we have made progress in a project, and it's the Preternatural Files, the paranormal investigative show, and we have been recruiting new members to be on the team. I've recruited a member to be on the Preternatural Files team. Gage has been getting new members, and me and Gage have been talking the last day or two because he's been looking at and walking around and kind of looking at this location. And we've been kind of investigating without getting everybody in one collective spot and setting up equipment. We're kind of seeing if this place could be potentially a good spot to do an investigation. And this could be our first episode for the Preternatural Files YouTube show, which would be my first ever project in terms of filming something that I can build up cred for and experience for, so I can use that experience towards Internal Fracture so that I kind of know certain, thoughts or how to execute certain things so it translates well once I, take that step towards making my feature film. So that was the announcement, is that we're making a lot of progress on that front, and we've recruited people. There's going to be a personal episode in the Preternatural Files. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. I completely get it. But the Preternatural Files is going to be a personal episode directed at me, where I'm going to talk about some paranormal encounters and things I've dealt with, and a very intense, disturbing occurrence that I'll issue a warning to anybody who watches this here. And then when that episode eventually comes out, we'll put warning slapped all over it because it gets intense. I'm not going to hold back on what happened, or the effects it had on me. I'm not going to hold back on it. And some of it, I think, could be after effects, and it could still be happening to me right now. I don't know. There have been certain things about me that I haven't fully recovered. My memory being one of it. My memory's been pretty spotty since the event happened. I appreciate the fact that the series sounds awesome. The series is going to be kind of like a hodgepodge. It's going to have your typical paranormal investigation because it's kind of what me and Gage are really pushing for. It's going to have interviews. It's going to have some semi-comedic moments. I want to kind of keep it lively and fun and entertaining to watch. So it's not all very grim and serious. I want it to have a little bit of entertainment, but not so much that it removes from the believability of the captures. I'm not going to say if we've captured anything groundbreaking at this location, but I will say one thing. If we haven't abandoned the location, it's probably because we haven't caught nothing. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything more. I'll save that for when it comes out and stuff like that. But I am excited for people to check that show out. And if any part of you is interested in the paranormal, if that's your type of thing, or people who are into that, spread word about it. Is there a timetable? Well, very soon we're going to be talking news about filming, because me and Gage together. Gage was at the location just yesterday. Me and him were shooting for both me and him together to be at the location next week. So any day now, next week, I'll be at the location. It's a local location, so I'll be able to still somehow be able to maneuver around and do some watch parties here and there. But one more watch party may have to get canceled, like the Man of Steel one. We may have to just remove that and just do nothing but a BVS one if we want, just because of the flexibility of having that flexibility for the meetup. So there's no specific set timetable yet, but expect an announcement for filming soon, because we've already gotten members. We're looking at a location. We've got episodes lined up and other interviews lined up. We've got other episode ideas. So we're going to probably start filming. I say within the next 2 to 3 weeks, start to expect an announcement for filming. And I would say, playing it safe, within the next 3 to 4 months, the series should at least drop its first episode. At least within the next 3 to 4 months, expect an announcement for the first episode drop. Now, I don't know how we're going to drop it. I don't know if we're going to create a channel by the name of the Preternatural Files. I don't know if we're going to create one that's Wilson and Stewart Studios. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to create 2 different channels and release it on both of those. Now, that's something I haven't talked to him about yet. Because Wilson and Stewart Studios is the name of the, the name in which we're going to be making everything. Hey, I love it too. I've been interested in paranormal stuff since I had some minor encounters when I was a kid. I'm gonna leave that stuff for the show. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it, and I can apply some camera techniques I learned from it and just ideas towards when I start directing. Because with Internal Fracture, that film, it's still getting made, by the way. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, movie boy. I don't know if you've been listening, but I have a film score out already for my feature film. It's already made. It's not fully uploaded yet, though. Only about half of it is uploaded on my YouTube channel. So, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to go in chat here and see if I can link it to you. It should be in my my channel. I'm going to go to my playlists real quick. And where is it at? Here it is. Let me share. Copy link. And I got it. Now let me post it. Right there. I don't know if you see it or not, but if you can see that in chat. If you can see that right there, this right here, anybody? This link right here. If you're seeing that, that is the amount I have uploaded of my film score so far. I did not make the film score. A friend of mine composed it. And only by composed it is he made the music. He's an actor by trade, but he was willing to do the music for me because me and him know each other. And oh my goodness, is he's fantastic. His name is Santiago. He fucking crushed it. The film score is it's just perfection. You had no idea I was making a film? Yeah, I am. The plot synopsis. I don't want to give too much away, okay? But I saw that you like Joker, so you're going to love my pitch. I'm going to use nothing but movies for my pitch. Let me explain. I'm going to use movies in terms of this movie represents these acts, this movie represents these acts. Joker represents the first 2 acts of the film. Now, as an idea, the Purge films as an idea represent the 3rd act, just on a more local, more confined, smaller scale. That is Internal Fracture. Joker in the first 2 acts, a Purge kind of local style for the 3rd act. That's Internal Fracture. And I've got a guy who's willing to be the lead. I haven't talked to him in a while about this film, so hopefully he's still into it. If he backs out, that could be a problem. Hopefully all's good on that end. But yeah, the film score should be completely done. As I'm just going to have to get back into uploading those and making sure we have all of them sent. I think he sent me all of them. I just need to upload them. But I already have 9 tracks posted in it. And I think after I upload all of them, there'll be about 16 or 17 tracks for the film score. And he's done an awesome job. And the film logo that's there in that in each video of the film score, Santiago did that as well. My podcast logo, by the way, that you watch, the podcast you watch, Santiago did the logo for that too. Santiago's an awesome dude, man. We also had him on an episode. Awesome dude. But yeah, that's how I would describe it. I would describe it as Joker first two acts, Purge third act, just on a more confined scale. Hopefully, the film can get made. Worst case scenario, what I'm looking at is we may have to do is post up some type of a GoFundMe type deal and see if we can get some funding for it, because this is a feature film. This isn't a short film. You know, like filming paranormal investigative shows, if you've got some camera equipment and willing to put in the effort to editing, you can make it look good. But a feature film, you got to have equipment, you got to have a budget, you got to have locations. Like feature film, you got to kind of go all out. And this is kind of what we're going for. We're making for Internal Fracture to be a feature length film. So hopefully we can, get all those things, tied up in a little bow and everything to work well. And plus, even from my perspective, I haven't even filmed anything in terms of live action stuff. That's why I'm wanting to do like I haven't filmed anything in terms of me behind the camera. So that's why I want to do stuff first, working with people and kind of like sharing that leadership role, so that once it's time for me to take in that reign fully, I already know where I'm at. I'm not just walking around like an imbecile claiming I know everything when I don't know jack shit. But I'm going to go check last second to make sure that not any of them have hopped in. I don't think they will. But I kind of already did the announcement side anyway. So if they were to hop in, it would mostly just be kind of like repeats for sure. But yeah, updates for sure. I'm going to be getting more updates with Internal Fracture. I'm trying to get done with the script. I've been trying to get done with the script for a while now, because I've been wanting to do the ending to be like kind of like perfection, and the ending's just kind of been like, like, because I've had great beginning, I think, and everything doing well pacing, well paced, awesome crank up, some awesome twists, and then you have the third act, and everything was good up until like the wrap up stuff, and I don't want to rush the wrap up stuff. You do everything well and you rush the wrap up, that movie's gonna fall apart it's just gonna fall apart like a nasty ass shit after someone couldn't handle Taco Bell in their stomach, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want the movie to turn into that. So I'm trying to, end it on a great note. Worst case scenario, if I feel like I have to kind of, push it a little bit and then pitch it to see what, and then get input from other people about how to kind of wrap it up a little bit, then I'd be open to doing that. But right now, I am looking at kind of just seeing if I can kind of push that and get it to where it needs to be. I still have time because we have other projects. We've got, the Preternatural Files to do. I've got a fan film idea to do. I don't know if you've heard about my fan film idea, but it kind of takes place in between Halloween 4 and 5. If you watch those movies, it takes place in between that. That's an idea I have. Gage has an idea for a fan film that's pretty fucking cool. He mentioned it in the podcast episode. We've got, I have another feature film idea that I haven't really mentioned. It's most likely going to come after Internal Fracture, because I don't really have as much as a story outline for it yet. All I have is a title, a vibe, and a genre. I don't even have a story outline yet. So Internal Fracture is modern day. I'll reveal that. That's not a spoiler, really. Internal Fracture is modern day. But my other film I want to do after Internal Fracture, if we can pull it off correctly, it's going to be a period piece. So Internal Fracture is modern day, but my next feature, if all goes well and we can actually execute that one, is a period piece. I can reveal the second one. The second one is called Damsels and Daggers. It's going to be much more of almost a film noir, gritty detective murder mystery thriller set in like the throwback days of film noir. It's going to be set in like the 40s or 50s. We're trying to decide which decade we're going for. It's going to have your, your jazz noir style film score to it. That's going to be my film after Internal Faction. So I can announce that, but that's way down the line. So people who watch this and say, "Where's," people who are more excited for the film noir film Damsels and Daggers are like, "Where's Damsels and Daggers announcements?" I'm like, that's way coming. Like I'll mention it once or twice, just because I'm making it, but it's way out there. It's just a name at this point. You know, there's no characters attached yet, with the exception of maybe one. I think we have one. We don't really we don't even have a story outline. We don't have a script. So wait, do I have a third idea for a movie, or are we going to count that third one as like a series or something? Yes, I have a third project too. I'll keep the third project a secret. I'll keep the third project a secret because I think I agreed to do the third project. I think I agreed to push the third project past Damsels and Daggers. I think I did. I think I agreed to push the third one past because I think it would be slightly easier to do Damsels and Daggers than it would be to do my third project before Damsels and Daggers. I think it would be easier to do Damsels and Daggers first. So, that's what I was thinking. Somewhere around in that area, like the peak of gangster crime for sure. The peak of like the mob gangster vibe for sure. Now, granted, we're not going to be able to film probably in some like big city areas, so we're going to have to kind of like make do with what we can do. But we'll try and get costuming that represents that era as well as possible. And make it look as realistic to the time period as possible that we can do with the budget we can make it with. Most likely, though, once we start doing our features, we'll probably have to do a GoFundMe and just hope that it goes viral. Like, hope that other, content creators love my ideas and it tickles their fancy enough that they feel like they'll just talk about this dude they never heard of before that doesn't even have 100 subscribers, and just like that would be a miracle of all miracles. And I would probably, shed a tear or two off camera and maybe even on camera, but that would probably be what it takes to get some of these films made, because we would need some financial help for sure. But the script part, I could write all the scripts to the live long day, even though deep down, probably if I ever got really rolling in the film game, I probably wouldn't write a lot of my scripts. I would probably just direct. I would write a script and direct here and there, but that's writing and directing both. That's something I'll like do sparingly. That's kind of the announcement. It was a lot of the personal stuff for me about like project updates, mostly internal fracture. There's a little bit more progress there on that front, and Preternatural Files is very close to us starting to film because we now have a location we're looking at for possibly doing an episode. Me and Gage are going to be, we're attempting to try to go to that location next week, both of us, to kind of scout it out. So that's the idea. That could be a cool idea. I mean, we are in the planning phases, so 1920s could be the decade we go with. I was thinking either 20s, 30s, 40s, or maybe 50s, but most likely 20s, 30s, or 40s. One of those three. I just couldn't pick which one to go with. But Prohibition would be a good setup because Prohibition could occur anywhere. It wouldn't really require big cities. We could do it in a small town area in like a very confined budget, and I think it could get pulled off well. So the 20s might be have what we have to pull, and we would just have to get the right clothing to pull off that era as well as possible, and I think it could work at that point. But yeah, check out the film score whenever you want up here, and let me know what you think about it. Because Santiago's a fucking music genius. Like it's crazy for someone who is an actor by trade. He's fucking phenomenal. And if you enjoy what he does, I'll send you his socials, and you can go, send a message saying, "Hey, you know, Clay sent me. Listen to the film score; it's phenomenal." Yada yada. Hype him up a little bit. Hype him up a little bit. Don't hype him up too much that he leaves me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Me and him know each other pretty well, but hype him up a little bit, man, because he's really good. He's really good. But yeah, that was the announcement, and that was the watch party. I am tired, bro. I didn't think I'd be as tired as I am. Um, it doesn't look like I'm gonna bring anybody on specifically. I mean, I pretty much took care of it myself at this point. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it myself. I pulled a Thanos moment. I just went, fine, I'll do it myself. Um, but I'm glad that people who were able to come in and watch. Um, I'm glad that you're excited for the projects. I'm excited to start to get to filming stuff, man. We're getting so close, and it gets me so hyped every time. My just my mental state also gets very hyped up. So yeah, no problem. Yeah, listen to it. Listen to it in your own time. My favorite thing about the film score is it has the emotion. What I would describe the film score as is a hybrid between tragedy emotion and eerie chaos. That's kind of what I describe the film score as. It's eerie chaos meets tragic emotion. And you'll see what I mean when you listen to it. Because that's exactly what I was going for in the movie and in the script as well. Those are the emotions I'm wanting to evoke from certain characters and certain actions, and the film score portrays it perfectly. So that's why I'm so hyped for this movie, because the film score is going to work so well. And since I'm a filmmaker who's a first timer, that's why I got the film score done before I got the script done to make sure it fit together. It had that flow. Now, once I do future projects, I'm going to do it the more typical route. I'm going to do film script, then film score. But since I'm a first timer, I wanted to have the best flow possible, and I thought that was the best way to execute it. But I'm glad you could stop by. I'm glad for anyone who stopped by and watched for a little bit. And anybody who watches after the fact, I'm glad. Hope you enjoyed the watch party. I didn't have as much to say because I was so intrigued and just so invested. Slash, I also know more about Watchmen as a world and characters. Um, so appreciate that. Appreciate that. Next watch along is most likely going to be Batman versus Superman. I'm going to try and shoot for either the 16th or 17th to do the watch party for that. Because the 17th would be perfection because it's the day before the Snyder Cut drops. It could be Snyder Cut Eve, peak hype. But the problem is there's a live stream I want to watch on the 17th. And on that live stream, there's a charity stream that Zack Snyder himself will appear on. And I'm probably going to try to donate to it and watch that live stream. And they're going to be auctioning off items from the movie. Now, I sure as hell probably not going to be able to afford any of those items. I'd love to be able to get one though, but it probably ain't going to happen. So I don't know if the 17th is going to work or not, because if it did and we do the 17th, it's going to be late at night, late. Like we're talking 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., 10:30, maybe 11 p.m. It depends. Or we do it midday before 7 p.m. And I kind of like the nighttime streams. That's not too late, but definitely not too early. So that's kind of what I look at it as. So most likely it'll be the 16th if we can do it. If not, I'll try and get it to work on the 17th. Worst case, we work on it and do it the 18th, the day of the Snyder Cut. And the people who want to hold out and watch, BBS right before they watch the Snyder Cut, what I'll do is on the 18th, I'll have the watch party before Zack Snyder has his Justice League watch party. So people, if they want to come watch mine, I'm not saying I'm as big as Zack Snyder. I'm not. I'd lose my mind if I somehow blew up like that. If the people who want to watch mine can watch mine, then go to Zack Snyder's and watch that, and it has that continuity there. But I appreciate you hopping in. I'll see you next time as well. Good night to you too. And I appreciate the fact that you're hyped about my projects. You know, anytime I tell someone that and they tell me they're hyped, it gets me. It makes me so happy because I'm a guy that I've never made anything. So the fact to hear someone say they're hyped and excited for me, even though they never seen anything I've made, it just I'm surprised and it makes me very happy. So I appreciate that. Um, I'll see you around. I appreciate you stopping by and anyone who watched and anyone who watches after the fact. This was the watch party. Um, Next one is going to be Batman versus Superman, most likely. Maybe I'll do a Man of Steel one. Don't hold your breath on it. If I do a Man of Steel one, it's going to happen within the next 3 to 4 days. So if it doesn't happen within the next 3 to 4 days, we're not doing a Man of Steel one. We're going to go from this straight to Batman versus Superman on either the 16th or 17th uh, of March. So that's the watch party. Thank you guys very much for watching. See you in the next one. Have a good night, everybody.